Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is my Afterthoughts review to Castle, Sweet Castle. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. I guess my first thing is, I don't know why I was so hard on this episode the first time I watched this episode, but definitely convinces me of why I need this Afterthought format of just being able to, wait a couple days and then watch the show again in glorious high definition. Not to mention I don't get the show in HD to begin with, so... Yeah, and sometimes you'll see more by just watching it again, whether in high definition or not, and I must admit, I think my first feelings is that I'm kind of disappointed in a way that it's like, everyone else had this cool, awesome experience and it was so emotional, and in a way that didn't really happen for me. I think the short answer is because I thought I had this episode all figured out. And, oh boy, was I wrong. Because, when, at the end, when they go into the dining room, I figured all the junk was gonna be in there, and, no, they just, Rarity went and cleaned it up and add her own touches to it and everything, so yeah, I think that was my problem, is that I thought I knew what was gonna happen, but no, that's not what happened at all. It's like, I figured they were gonna take a branch from the Golden Oaks Library and hang it, but no, they took the entire roots and they hung it from the ceiling, which I think from an aesthetic standpoint, it doesn't really look very nice. It looks kind of unusual and odd to me. I mean, if you were a complete stranger and you walked into this castle, you might think, why do you have roots hanging from your ceiling? But I do like that sentiment. That was a really great sentiment, and I liked it a lot, and it is very touching. It's like, oh, in a way it was exactly what the castle needed. Oh. And that was such a great moment. It's like, oh, she's crying, and everyone's, oh, it's just so touching. Oh, quick, someone get me a tissue. But overall, this episode was really good, and way to go to these two new writers. I have to say, the thing that I think is most surprising, these are two new writers, and I honestly, if I didn't had known that, I don't think I would have thought that these were new writers. This feels like a classic episode of MLP, and it was done really well. The song was really good. I did like it. I kind of liked the reprise a little bit better, because, yeah, the first part, again, it's like, oh, it didn't take long to realize, they're gonna make the classic mistake of, they're gonna make this their home and not Twilight's home, and that's exactly what happens. They do make that mistake, but, the good news is that, unlike in some shows, they realize they've made a mistake, and that was really kind of fun to watch them go, yeah, we did a good job, didn't we? Yeah, go team! It's like, well, they all realize, we've made a horrible mistake. This is terrible. Oh. And they're all relieved when Spike goes in and is like, oh, this is horrible. It's like, oh, thanks, Spike. We all knew it was horrible, but we didn't want to admit it to ourselves. Yeah, I think this episode in the end was very good, and it's still obviously a maintenance episode. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but it's definitely a maintenance episode. But it was a very good maintenance episode. I kind of disagree with Kim's video, and that Kim's saying, well, this is trying to, in a way, appease the Bronies or help the Bronies deal with this. No, I don't think that's really the goal of this. And even if that were true, I don't think it necessarily would have succeeded there. Yeah, this was all about Twilight, making this castle her home, and how it makes it from being just a big empty building to being something that means something to her. That was another great moment where, we stop and we have a little moment. It's like, we had some good memories there, and everything. And it was such a nice, simple, touching moment, that happened kind of unexpectedly, but was, again, simply part of what had to happen. This whole episode, in a way, this is everything that needed to happen. Is that, Twilight and Spike have lost this place that meant so much to them, and they have to go deal with it, and, have a moment and say, that place meant a lot to us, and it's gone now. But the good news is that we still have our friends, and we have a new home, and we're ready to make some new memories in it. I really like that lesson. That lesson is cool. I like that. It's not about, oh, you gotta just throw the past away and forget about it, or you gotta cling on to it, and refuse to let it go. It's like, you gotta remember that it's there, but you gotta move forward as well, which I like that. That was cool. And I did like the ultimate resolution to this problem that the Mate 6 have. It's like we've made a horrible mistake and it's terrible, but it's an understandable mistake for them to make. It's like, oh, the castle is so empty. Let's fill it with everything that we can find. It's like, oh no, now it's too cluttered. It's like they went from one extreme to the other, and that was understandable. But yeah, I did. That was the thing I did like about this episode, is that I thought it was predictable, but it's not. It's like, it's just simply not the way that we were expecting this episode to run, because this is a classic kind of episode in a lot of different ways. And because yeah, it's the classic, oh, we gotta stall while we take care of this. However, but interestingly, in most of those kinds of episodes, it's usually because, oh, it would have been, in this case, it was, oh, whoops, we destroyed the interior of Twilight's castle, and Twilight doesn't know about it, we gotta go fix it before she comes home. But in here, that's not the case. Twilight knows what's going on. She knows what they're doing. I mean, in theory, they could just have Spike to go tell Twilight, Twilight, we just need a little bit more time. Could you not come back yet? It's one of those minor things that if you really want to beat on, you can, but I don't think that's perfectly fine. That's fine. But it is, I think, that when I've had a chance to think about it, that's what I think about it. It's like, yeah, they didn't have to stall Twilight or lie to her. They could just simply tell her the truth. It's not like they've been slacking off. It's like they did their best, they made a mistake, and we need some more time to go fix it. It's like, because we care, Twilight. We want this place to be your home and not ours. It took us a while to figure that out, but we want this to be your home because we care about you and we love you, Twilight, and you mean so much to us. And that was ultimately, in a way, what this episode was trying to do. It's like, yeah, it's like the main six had the best of intentions and ultimately were wrong. But it's all because they care. They love Twilight. And they're obviously friends and everything. And they really want Twilight to be happy here and everything. Because, yeah, this is a pretty rough thing to have to lose your home and then all of a sudden be thrust into this huge mansion, if you will. It's like, yeah, I know it's a castle, but in a way. But yeah, this huge place that's just big and empty and everything. It's like, this place doesn't feel like home. It's just it's in a way, it's a big building to her. But, now these memories and everything that she's had of where she was help her to, deal with that and make this her home now. And now she's ready to go and make new memories and everything, and I think that was cool. So ultimately, this episode was really good and was certainly a really good premiere for these two new writers. I'm glad to see that these two writers were able to pull this off and make this episode so cool and so special, and it was really good and I enjoyed it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Afterthoughts review. There's actually I realized that there's a few more things I would have liked to discuss, like Bug Biceps. He was pretty cool, he was awesome. And everything, but I think I'm gonna leave this here now, because unfortunately, like Twilight, I need to go get some rest now, because, Twilight, I feel your pain, and I'm glad that you finally got a chance to relax a little bit. You work so hard, Twilight, so this is Blue Star. Stay strong, and pony on. Blue Star out.